We're all mouth breathers. But all right,
Yeah.
we're going. First of all, I want to thank Rodger for being here, taking his time off of work or after work. Appreciate it.
I think we both are, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. This is hitting that overtime. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, Rodger is the shop foreman here where we work. We're not going to disclose where we work because we also don't want to get in trouble. Absolutely. I don't want Rodger getting in trouble. Yeah. But like I said, Rodger is the shop foreman, and I think he has a very interesting story. And it was pretty relatable because I have a friend when I was in school.
Right.
He was in the nursing program, like balls deep. He had the scrubs already, and then he decided, I don't want to do this anymore. So, I mean, let's start there, Rodger. Or how about this? Let's start. You're in high school. You're a young buck. You're skating. No beard yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Shop class. What were you doing in shop class?
Listen, so it all starts, right? I'm in high school. I took automotive class for like 3 years.
There you go.
Yeah, my bad.
You're good.
Took it for like 3 years from like sophomore to senior year. And yeah, like I hit it off. I had a cool teacher, this guy, and I fell in love with it. I'm like, dude, this is so cool. But in all reality, I was chasing the firefighting dream, paramedic dream.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, right? Finally graduated and tried to get into college. Their long wait list was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I try to do that too in Los Angeles County, and one of the counselors in my high school was like, "You can do that, but you're not going to get paid for a very long time. Yeah. So maybe find a different career path or have that as a minor or something." So that's pretty funny.
Same scenario, dude. I'm telling you. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother, dude. Like so. And I needed money. So I just always found low money because I was always fixing my own cars.
Right.
So there you go, right? And then fast forwarding a little bit, I was like, you know what? I'm just getting into one of these trade schools. I got into trade school. Yeah. Done. Yeah. So I got into it. I graduated, right, and everything. But it wasn't, nobody wanted to hire me. It was crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I did the internship.
So you're saying those commercials where they're like, they'll hire you, and it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. It's like, oh, yeah, straight out of school, like, you're going to get a job right away. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like,
yeah, it's easy.
It's big. You drop big money on these loans, and then here we are. So it's like, you graduate, I intern, and then right out, they're all, okay, well, there's nobody wanted to hire me.
They're like, good luck.
Literally, no one wanted. I applied everywhere, workers' comp to anything, and then sure enough, nobody wanted to hire me.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? So I was pretty bummed out. I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I need money now. I have all these loans.
Yeah. That too. On top of that, you got
thousands
loans,
of dollars of loans, and you're like, dude, I need to pay it off now.
Yeah. Like
I have no job. I was working with my dad, but no one wants to work with your dad.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it sounds pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Family business. We're going to keep it in the family. Yes. But your dad knows how to get to you and like, hey, pick that up or you're not doing that right. And then you're screwed and you're like, fuck this guy. Yeah,
props to that guy, dude. Yeah. He's the best. But it all comes down to it. I'm like, dude, this is not what I want to do. So finally, I'm like, okay, I need to make money. I ended up at a grocery store for a while just to get my foot in the door somewhere. And, and I'm like, dude, I need money. So finally, it came down to this, where I'm at now for the past almost 9 years. And I'm like, I'm going to turn wrench.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn wrench. And after doing all these years, it's funny, after seeing how much you get paid going to school and then actually doing blue collar with no education. Mind you, I just had street knowledge.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Here we are 9 years later. What I also thought was funny is that one time, because I've had a bad 2 months, like we had meetings based on me, but like I could see our boss, like, I'm not going to say who it is, and just daggers at me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I understand.
But look away.
That you said that our boss told you like that, because of my uniform too. It took forever to get my uniform. And that you asked him like, when am I going to get my uniform? And that he straight up said, I don't know, man. It might not work.
No, literally. And he was hardcore. And I understand. But, I remember starting. And like I said, starting at the bottom of the barrel, dude. Started, and he was just like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. And then finally it came down, okay, I'm like, everybody has uniforms. I was like, hey, when could I have a set of uniforms?
Yeah.
Because I'm washing this stuff and it's really bad.
Yeah, this is
right?
messing up my washer.
He's all like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to keep you. Literally straight to my face. And I'm like, and it's crazy because you can respect someone like that because he's straight up honest with you.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, in my ears, hearing that, I'm like, okay, obviously I need to do something better. I need to
something's
be better.
got to change, right?
Something's got to change for him to be like, you know what? I'll get you uniforms.
Yeah.
So, and mind you, that whole, you know how most jobs give you that 3-month probation.
Yeah,
blah,
exactly.
Blah. Okay, I literally waited exactly 90 days for him to be like, okay, you know what? I am going to keep you after
you're
all.
Cool.
Yeah, you're cool. You made my team. And I'm like, oh, shoot, finally. So there you go.
Yeah.
Waited all that time.
And that's cool because, like you said, you can respect a man that can tell you straight to your face, like, oh, you're not looking good, dude. Because otherwise they'd be like, oh, no, it'll come. Don't worry about it. But, I mean, hats off to you, too, for being like, you know what? Instead of just being like, fuck this guy, I'm going to go find another job. You're like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna get that uniform. I'm going to get that uniform.
And I want to wear that fucking uniform. Sorry.
And yeah, exactly. And touching back, you had no knowledge. I mean, the street knowledge, right? You were you said you dropped a tranny on a Honda.
Yeah.
You were like,
I was a racer. I built my own Hondas, and that's all I knew was cars. But getting here, because I got into the diesel, and I fell in love with it. It was twice as better than working on cars.
And I mean, you can't see Rodger, but he's the shortest guy in the shop, so he definitely loves. No, Rodger's like 6'4", so he's got a lot of room.
So if you want to picture me, I'm 6'5", about 260 pounds, so an average tight end nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we got a little Travis Kelce in him.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. No, let's talk grunt. That's my homie right there.
There you go, exactly.
But like being that big and working on little cars was very frustrating.
Yeah, it's not it.
Diesel called it, and I'm like, dude, there's so much room for activity.
Oh yeah, exactly. So much room for it. You pop, especially even the hood. The hoods they open forward, so like the fender's gone, everything. And
you can work inside.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
But it is funny too to see Rodger because also he has if whoever's listening, we got to bug Rodger because he has a project Civic, and. Not to be an asshole, but all he's done is remove the rack and pinion. We got to get him to do more stuff. But the couple times he brought it in, the next day he's all, dude, my back hurts, man. I fucking hate this. Like, I hate working on these cars, and it's just funny seeing Rodger work on a Civic because it's just so damn big, man. So I mean, he chose obviously the right career path because one, he likes it, and he definitely can fit, but. And then you also told me too, and I was like, damn, that must have felt good that you saw your shop class teacher right recently at a wedding or something like that.
At a friend's wedding.
Yeah. Yes. So break that down. How that went.
Like I said, I went to my high school teacher. Mind you, I did 3 years of automotive. The first 2 years I had one teacher, and then my last year, which was my senior year, I had a whole different teacher. And this teacher, he was a master tech for Chevy, I believe, if I remember right.
The good one. Huh?
Yeah, he was, old school, but yet true. Like, she told you straight up, too. Like, he would tell you everything. Didn't matter if you were a freaking 16, 17-year-old. He told you to your face what the heck you were. And I loved it. I'm like, okay, this guy. And he saw stuff in us. But long story short, me and one best friend of mine, he just got married recently, and he invited him to the wedding. He was there. And he was just telling me, like, dude, like, I can't believe you're still in this industry.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought you were just gonna just blow by and move on with your life. He's like, but you actually stuck to wrenching.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I fell in love with it ever since school. Yeah. Like you showed us, and dude, I fell in love with it. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Yeah. And I took it more as a hobby thing because I didn't think I was gonna make money like this.
Yeah, you're like, this can't be.
Yeah. And he was just like, no, well, it doesn't matter. It's funny that you stuck to it. Like, I'm happy that one of my students actually took the mile, right? And he was just like, dude, well, you know what? Honestly, he's like, he inspired me and telling me like, hey, you should be a teacher.
Yeah, like you should be doing what I'm doing.
He's like, he's like, you were really smart or you understood everything you did. Right. So he was like, I think you should be a teacher.
Yeah, it wasn't just like hey, he's removing that because I told him to remove it. It was he understands why he has to remove it or why it's not working.
Diagnosing, whatever. Like he's understanding every step he's doing. Yeah. It's very hard. Some students have a hard time like, well, they say nuts and bolts, right? But at the end of the day, it's not just nuts and bolts. You got to find out why.
Yeah, you got the word root why. Problem. Yeah. But dang, dude, that must have felt good, though, right?
Like, I'm like, dude, my teacher telling me like you're one of my best students, and, and it's funny because in that last year, the funniest thing is that he had 3 groups. We had divided in 3 groups: Team A, Team B, and Team C. Yeah. Team C, sorry, and then. I was in Team A because Team A was my little car group that we had in high school.
Yeah.
So all of us knew kind of what we were doing. So
Right.
he was like, "No, I want you guys in one team." And he put some other guys in one team, and like the worst team was Team C.
So Team C was over there. Oh.
Team C was just Team C. He just had them washing cars. It was sad, bro.
He was still telling them, "Hey, wash these parts with gasoline." Isn't that dangerous? I know. Yeah,
he's like, we got a tank over there. Don't worry about it. But he was awesome, dude. But
oh no,
it was just cool hearing that.
Yeah,
you know, and all those guys I even remember, I don't even think any of them would do what I'm doing.
Oh,
now.
none of them. Yeah, none of them carried.
No, everybody ended up doing they all moved on in
That's
life.
cool. That's cool. But yeah, like so, I mean, not that you needed that validation, but I'm sure it felt fucking
amazing
awesome.
Because now I'm like, dude, is that something I needed to want to do in the future now?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm gonna get old here one day, and I'm like, damn, dude. Like,
you brought that up the other day with the homie Petey Pedro.
Yeah,
I walked up and you were like, "What would you do like if you couldn't turn wrench?" And I was like, "Well, why?" And you're like, "No, you're just old age." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, parts store." And then we were like, "Oh, teach," and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'd probably teach too. That'd be cool." Let everybody know. But
because I thought about parts. It's easy.
You're still technically around cars and stuff like that.
Exactly. You're not gonna forget anything,
for
thankfully.
sure.
But
yeah, or I hope not. As soon as you leave here, you're just I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool too because you came back to it. I mean, I don't know how passionate you were in that random gap. You still said, you were working on little Hondas and stuff like that and doing your own projects. But to come back to it and then you're basically set back again, right? Because our boss is telling you it's not going to work out, dude. Just keep washing your own clothes. And then now you're over here 9 years later.
And
everything goes by you. Yes. Everything goes by you.
Everything goes by
Which brings me to like my next question, right?
I want to hear this. Let me hear it.
So how many times a day do you think you get asked like, oh my God, hey, Rodger? And I try to limit myself, and I hate going up to you.
You know what's funny? You're one of the least right now.
I try so hard not to. I try but go ask Jesus or Rob or one of them, and they're
because I mean, all reality, you should be talking to JC
probably
because he's our head
right
in the longer years doing what you're doing.
Right.
So, but as far as like everybody, because JC still comes to me.
Yeah.
Some of the guys have been here a lot longer, like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. I always thought that was funny too. Even when like Mario was here, and he like they go to you to check
exactly,
and then you were like, Mario taught me everything. I'm like, wait a minute, no disrespect, but what's going on?
Exactly, that's what
it's pretty funny.
That blows my mind. I'm like, but yes, going back to your question, like at least a day. I'm like. It's well over 10 times.
It's got to be over 10 times.
And it's funny, one person does it almost close to 10 times. So that tells you right there, like, dang, dude. So it's kind of stressful because, mind you, I'm still trying to do my job.
Right, yeah. You're
by wrenching and
thing.
whatever. And then you get, somebody to come up and be like, hey, dude, what do you think of this? Or, hey, am I doing this right?
Dude,
And you have to, because if they do it wrong, then guess what? We all fail.
It falls on the shop, and then there we are again, sitting down during break, looking down, trying not to make eye contact. Like, who was it? Who was it this time? Who was it this time? But it just shows. Again, I don't want to kiss your ass, but it just shows how good you are at your job, right? You're still able to complete what you're doing or what you're supposed to do while babysitting the rest of us. And like you said, I'm sure it's stressful and everything, but again, you carry it like, all right, it's for the team, right? It's not just for this guy, or because then same thing too. I know a lot of people say like, oh, well, they have to fuck up to learn how to do this, but also it's like we could prevent the fuck up, skip that step,
exactly.
Because I mean, inevitably you're gonna fuck up.
Mind you, like if it's somebody brand new that's never done something like this,
right.
Like mind you, because a lot of our team has come from stuff like that. Like,
they've
not knowing a thing about diesel or welding or fabrication. Like they don't know anything.
Like, dude, I just started driving a forklift like a week ago. I didn't know how to do it. I was scared. I was like, nope, I'm gonna end up piercing something.
As soon as I got here, I've never driven a forklift in my life, but I did drive equipment before for construction. But other than that, it's like it's not the same. So, if I can prevent it, I'm more than happy to do it. But it does get a little annoying when it's the same question for the same thing. So I'm like, okay, are you not learning, or is
are you not learning?
Are you not learning?
See, and that's a perfect teacher response right there. Like, I told you this last week.
I could have swore.
In one ear, out the other, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, everything goes through Rodger in the shop. You know, he knows everything. He knows everybody's fuck ups. He knows everybody's high points, low points, and especially too, I've never seen Rodger, you know, lose it. Because I mean, I guess I'm not a customer, or I haven't messed up to the point where, you know,
I had to.
Yeah, where you had to apprehend me, or I guess
my
whatever,
personality. I don't think I'm that kind of guy, anyways. To lose it, I am really patient. I feel like I am.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like I might just turn around and yell. Not directly at the person, but I'll definitely turn around and probably throw a wrench at someone.
For sure. And again, Rodger's 6'4", man. So it's like, oh, okay.
It's a little intimidating.
Yeah, and Rodger is a cool guy. Everybody gets along with him, gets with him in the shop and stuff like that, or else they wouldn't approach him for all this help.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like I say, people get intimidated by seeing me, and like I get it's a scary figure being that big, but in all reality, I'm like, once you know me, I'm like a Care Bear. I'm like a Care Bear.
You're pretty laid back, dude. I mean, some might refer to him as the Muffin Man, if we're being honest. Some might refer to him as the Muffin Man. It's my phrase, It's his phrase. So,
do you know the Muffin Man?
That's all you hear in the shop, too. It's just, where's Rodger? Do you hear the Muffin Man? You know the Muffin? Oh, he's over there.
Yeah, he's over there.
Don't worry. But it's just funny, and it's cool that you keep your cool. Like you said, there's just so many people trying to ask you questions, and you'll see Rodger go from one end of the shop to the other, and he's just a centipede at that point. There's people like, hey, real quick, and that too, I hate when I see someone go up to you, and I'll just like, it's all right.
I'll wait.
I'll wait. I'll ask, and then I'll like cool it under flashlight, and then it's been 2 minutes. Is he doing anything? No. All right, let me go. Hey, Rodger, you got a minute? And yeah, sure, I got you.
Oh, stop!
But dude, it's so funny, but it just shows.
It's just not. It's not other techs either. That's what cracks me up even more. I'm like, I got. Not just customers. If not, we got other employees from other departments
right,
looking for me. Like, where's Rodger? Like, I don't even know who they are, and they're asking my name. I'm
exactly.
Like, I look at them. I'm like, who are you, dude?
Who's this guy? You just see the uniform, and you're like, okay, I guess you
work for us. Yeah. So I can help you, but it cracks me up when I see that. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. And when Rodger says other departments, he doesn't mean like HR. We have we do tires, and big rigs and stuff like that. The cap shop, the retread, and everything. And
the mountain wheels.
When we say everything goes through Rodger, everything goes through Rodger. We have 2 compounds, one here, one across the street. People come across the street.
Well, 3.
Hey, Rodger.
We got 3.
3. There you go. And they're just all flooding in. Hey, have you seen Rodger? The funniest one was the guy that came up to me. Have you seen Rodger? Tall guy. And I was like, yeah, dude, I've seen him. Like, I know.
I know who you're talking about, bro.
Like, oh yeah. And I was telling you, I should have told him, like, no, never heard of him. Never heard of him.
And then you just see this Bigfoot walking by.
It's like, oh, that's him. That's him. Dude, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's crazy, and then it's always.
So what about you? So is that what happened to you too, as far as like the whole schooling went?
See, what's funny is I didn't even turn wrench in high school. I didn't know anything. Like my dad took shop in high school, so he knew like the very basics, like how to bleed, how to do it. And even then, I didn't do any of that.
Okay.
It wasn't until I graduated high school. My parents weren't necessarily too strict, as in like, okay, you're 18, you get a job, you pay bills, do this. My dad was always like just a talker. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to tell you. And so he kind of let me and my brother like, okay, you guys went to school. You guys actually did it. I don't know if you guys were going to make it, but you did it.
You did it.
So he kind of like cooled it and was like, all right, he didn't necessarily say you could take a year off, but he kind of let us just mellow out and like, all right, let them find their way, for now. And so it wasn't, I remember I was at my grandma's house. It was in the back room. I was watching, I don't know, that show Fast and Loud with Richard Rawlings. And I was like, damn. Okay. And they were doing, the Pikes Peak hill climb, and they were doing the pace truck, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And I like that style. I like that like rock and roll, like that rat rod style. They made this badass C10 truck, right? A 60 C10 truck, and it looked cool. And I was like, that would be cool to do. And at that point I was like, okay, what steps do I need to take? And so I went to ELAC, the East Los Angeles College. We have a family friend who's like she's pretty high ranking. She's a political science teacher, but she knows everybody there. So I was like, hey, I don't even know what to do. So she helped me. I got in, and I mean that was pretty much it. And that too, I wanted to get like a full on degree, and then I finished the program because it's the same thing as like UTI or whatever. It's 5-week courses, and you finish it in 2 years or whatever the hell it is. And I finished it, and I was like, okay, I still got like an English class, a math class, and like a bullshit PE class, which I don't know why you need a PE class in college. And then I was like,
healthy.
yeah, exactly, stay healthy. And then I was like, well, I don't really need that. I already did what I had to do, so I just moved on to the Firestone, and then here I am. But it's just a random idea that popped into my head. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna throw this out there. It's so random, but mind you, before doing this wrenching, I was in towing too. I did towing. I did that for about a year.
You called AAA?
Yeah, I was that
there.
guy that you called AAA and he showed up, and that was me. So I'll be driving different cars all the time. I'll roll up in a Prius one time, and people looked at me like, "What do you do with that?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And I would pull out this big old jumper, portable jumper pack. I'm like, "I got you. Don't worry about it." Sure enough, I'll fire it up, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because if I couldn't jump it, I sold them a battery. I had 50. I think how many batteries inside that Prius, dude? I think I carried like almost 20 batteries.
Jesus.
So I would try to carry one of each, just in
case. Yeah. Why are you gonna double up?
If it was a freaking Toyota Camry or whatever, I'm like, hey, you need that? Oh yeah, I have one right here. Like,
I got you.
$100 and some bucks. Oh sweet. I would install it on the field.
Yeah.
Like no problem. And it was all like any battery you sold was like commission or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
if you were on fire, you got some nice paychecks.
Yeah, you were there.
So I mean, like I said, I only knew how to wrench on cars.
Right.
In the beginning phase. So and then just diesel took over.
Yeah.
So that was it.
And so next step, right?
Okay.
Let's see we kind of touched base like a long time ago. ASCs, how do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh, I can't even, dude. So I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I went to go do it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I've been in diesel this long. I'm gonna try to go get an AC.
Why not?
And what we specialize in,
right?
Which is suspension and alignment, right? Yeah. So I went online. I did the registry. Okay, you got your test this day.
Dropped the like $200 or $100, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was almost it wasn't that bad. I think it was like almost $80 or something like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't too crazy.
Yeah,
I was scared about that. So I was like, okay, screw it. Like, and sorry. So I paid it. I went. And you sit in this little cubicle with all these other people doing a bunch of other ASCs.
Yeah, and that too, when I went, it was like there was like some dude, he was like, yeah, like, I'm trying to be a lawyer. And I was like, why am I supposed to test with him? Like, and there's like other random dudes. I was like, I know he don't wrench. I know she doesn't wrench. Yeah. Nothing against, but your fingers are just too nice. Like, your hands aren't dirty enough. Yeah. So it's,
because I same thing. I rolled into a room with like 30 people. Yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, okay, so, just sit on this computer, put these headphones on, blah, blah, right? Mind your own business.
Quiet. It's a library, right?
It's basically a library. So I'm like, they give you a monitor. Okay, just answer the questions. And sure enough. So I get there and I see this test, dude. Mind you, I feel pretty confident as can be. Like,
I'm doing good at work. I
know what I'm doing at work. I know what to see, what to do, whatever, right? And when you read those questions, I was dumbfounded. Like, I forgot everything I ever
it all goes out. How technician A says this. Like, I don't know technician A. I don't know technician B.
I don't know tech B, but neither of these fools are right. So.
And then they're both right.
And like, unfortunately, the answer was we're both right. I was like, why can't? And it's difficult. And I'm like, dude, I've never been a good test taker, but when you're trying to get ASCs and trying to do your job, to book smart compared to street smart is two different things.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, like it. I've seen dudes. Yeah, I mean, I got ASCs up the butt, blah blah. But as soon as you tell them, okay, well, take that frozen kingpin out right there.
They gotta pull out the book. It's not that wasn't in the book.
That wasn't in see, I'm sorry, buddy. Like, they lose their minds, and I'm like, and so then you got someone like myself, like, oh yeah, it's not walking in the park, dude. Ooh. And they're just like,
wait, talking about a regular Monday before lunch.
Yeah, before lunch. Cake, dude.
Right? Because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. You could have a good mechanic that has no ASCs, and then you could have someone that's a master technician, quote unquote, but they're just like, I don't know, check the brakes.
Check the brakes. Yeah, no, and it's crazy because that goes for. I have a guy that worked here. He was awesome. He was a good teacher to me too. He was but older, Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
but obviously couldn't really speak English.
Okay.
But man, he knew his way around the truck.
Like, he knew what he was doing.
And that was a beautiful thing about him. Like, dude, I can learn. I learned so much from that guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and yeah, you don't need a certificate to show that you know how to work on that. And yeah, of course, it takes your first time to do it. And then once you do that first time, you'll never forget your first time.
No.
You know that.
Yeah. No.
You'll never forget your first time.
In anything, right?
In anything in life. I'm sorry. That's one thing my daddy's always said.
Yeah.
You'll never forget your first thing in life. So, yeah. And to me, I'm just like, dude, that sucks. But in order to advance in this world, or bigger companies or counties, railroad, they want you to have these freaking certs.
Because even when you're applying, I've seen they say like ASC preferred, and they make it seem like, oh, you don't necessarily have to have it, but they're gonna end up going with the guy that has the ASC, which sucks. Because
that guy sucks.
Yeah, because that guy might literally suck, dude. That guy might suck.
Oh my gosh.
Which it would be, if you get to the interview, because that too, they don't even let you go into the interview process, right? If they could get you into the interview and they're like, you want like our boss, he kind of, the new guys, or like when I came to apply, he had me walk around the shop, right? Even at that point, you could just be like, what do you think he should do here? Like this is what's happening. What would you do? And then if obviously you can kind of explain it, and if you're just like, all right, that I wouldn't, no,
yeah,
you get a feel for it.
Even interviews too. Like there was a, what do you call it? There was a county job, and I didn't know. Apparently, you can be overqualified for a job. I don't get how that works.
They were like, no.
But I think what they were paying attention to was years.
Right.
So they see your years in service of what you do, but they're like, oh, well, you're too overqualified. I'm like, what? How is that possible? Like it's a generic job. It really was a basic job. Yeah. But I think they were just like, no, like we can't hire somebody that's too good at something for something. For we know an oil change guy compared to a diagnostic guy. Like,
it's like we can't do it.
We can't do it.
We can't pay you that much. I'm sorry.
It's like we're sorry, but and that's understandable. I get it.
For sure.
It's just funny because you're just like, damn,
overqualified.
I'm like, is there such a thing?
Yeah, like you ask the guy like, so is your job position hiring? Like, what do we got to do?
Like, are you gonna keep me in the loop when somebody falls off the wagon here?
Honestly,
it's just this goes way back, but it's just funny because I firsthand saw that, and I'm like, and sure enough, and when they ask you these questions, like I was schooling, I was just going,
you're just blowing by it,
and didn't think like, about okay, this guy obviously knows his crap, like. But then you get those guys that you get know absolutely nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I've when I got out of school and all those interviews, like, hey, did you? And I was like, I know tires.
Yeah, tires.
Which that too, I always say too. People will ask me too about school. Well, the ASC thing, I'd be like, sure, you can take it. Like you said, it looks really good on paper when you're getting hired, or even if you want to. Move up in a company, you can kind of be like, dude, I got these ASCs. But again, they can, if you're already in the company, they could just be like, I've seen you work, fool. You're an idiot. But it does. There's pros and cons. It doesn't. It does not hurt you at all to have an ASC or any or whatever. Just one, two. Something.
I mean, it would be nice if a company paid for them.
Yeah,
just to try because that would be very nice. Because that way. You show to them like, hey, I'm actually smart enough to understand these problems.
Exactly.
You should, but at the same time, apply it. Yeah, just apply it. Apply it to your life.
See, so that too. Would you say so? At Firestone, they would pay, and they would have classes too. Like they would bring a guy that was like, I don't know if he was
like a teacher or something.
Yeah, like I don't know if he was by the company. The ASC company or whatever, but he was like he had some sort of certificate himself that said like he can teach the stuff or something like that, and so you would be gone. You would be gone for like 2 days, and they would pay you because it was on their pay on the company time and stuff like that. And so you would go, and it was like a little class, like a break class, if you whichever ASC you wanted to get, and then they would pay you. And so like I said, I did that, and it was suspension as well, suspension and alignment, but they were like. Talking about, I thought it was just going to be regular suspension, like, hey, the tires are cupping. Oh, it's your shocks. Yeah. Oh, it's simple stuff. Like it's sagging from the front, or like what happens when this. And I was like, all right, cool. And then they started like, they brought out like a Range Rover diagram in my ASC, and it was for like airbags and the whole system and stuff. And I was like, yeah, dude, I skipped a lot of electrical class, dude.
Well,
like,
let's be realistic. Sorry. That's not even real world, but just saying, but you give us the most difficult.
Yeah, like why would you? Yeah, I'm like
start with the basics,
Seriously,
guys. Come
dude,
on.
I'm working on nothing but Corollas. All right, no one's got airbags, man.
Yeah, oh my.
And so back to my point is that they paid for it. So I would say, I mean, if you're starting, if you could find a company like that, get your ACs, and then why not dip? Because they're fine for like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, something about like every 2 years you got to
go back. Yeah, and the test is usually, I think it's shorter after you get them, right?
It's just like your driver's license.
Exactly.
Half it down. But,
so that's when you should feel bad when you don't pass, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I already had it.
Exactly. My word.
Now I'm fucked.
But I wish. Like I said, I wish I can. If I could go and get all my ACs, I would absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But the budget thing is not fun.
Yeah, it's not.
And what hurt me the most, I failed it.
Yeah,
right. I failed it, and I paid this money, and I'm like, I'm a sore loser. I just blew $80 on my knowledge that went out the window.
Yeah, it was pointless. I hate this. I hate it here. But again, like you don't necessarily need it. You're pretty established here. And like you said, if you go to any other job, they're already like, you're a little overqualified for a lube tech.
Overqualified for what we think we want you to do. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. But I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Some people are like, oh, well, you got to have a degree and stuff. But you can't also forget years.
Yeah.
Years of service compared to someone in school. There's two different
Completely
things.
different.
Some companies will even look into your years. They can care less if you have a degree. Yeah. Like they'll pick somebody. Oh, well, you've been doing this for 12 years. Shoot, you'll have way more experience than the guy's fresh out of college.
For sure.
Because he's been around the boat. And the other guy's just fresh out of school.
Exactly.
He'll pull a book out on you. Yeah. You'll be like, what? No, dude, grab a wrench. Grab a wrench.
And in school, it's exactly. No. Pick up. Yeah. And in school, it's usually like a perfect scenario type thing, right? Like they have loaner cars or whatever, and they're like, all right, we're gonna do this, and this is how you take it off and stuff like that. And like you said, if a freaking kingpin is seized up or whatever, just dry to the bone. Exactly. What are you gonna do? Well, you're not gonna know because you don't have the years.
Here, I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was in high school with the auto teacher, there was a lot of display, brake setups. So it was like shoes.
So you can see, like the exploded thing. You can see everything.
And it was real live, but it was on a bench.
Right.
And he would teach us how to put shoes on, pads on. And my favorite one was the diesel brake.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now I saw it back then. I'm like, dude, these brakes are so easy. Like,
why
aren't they all like this?
Why aren't they on all the cars?
So when I got to here, where I'm at now, I'm like, oh, I finally get to do the technique.
It's not a myth.
Yeah, it's not. But BS, it's all BS, bro, because it's so easy when it's on a test stand.
Oh, yeah.
I got to the real thing. I'm like, there's no way in hell you can do this with that spindle in the way.
Yeah.
The drum over it.
How's it going to get over here?
Yeah,
like, how are you going to
pry it on? Spring over over there when I remember doing it, mind you, I would do it in like 10 seconds. Yeah. How fast? Because you're just drop, throw, and spring, done.
Yeah.
And then you get here, you're like, I'm going to need at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, hold on. Don't talk to me. Let me concentrate, and then we'll get it done.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just funny because, school and then real life. It's two different things.
And it does help in the sense that you get familiar with it, right?
Yes.
Like you said, you saw that. You didn't know what it necessarily was, but you saw it already.
You already knew what you were doing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the scariest thing to me when you get guys and you're like, dude, what's an impact gun? And I lost my mind, dude. I was like, no, this guy should not be in here.
Yeah, he
didn't last very long. I remember that. But he literally asked me that. I was like, go grab the impact gun, grab the, whatever. And this guy's like, what's an impact gun? And I was like, I don't think you should be here.
Y'all calling the boss? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, he doesn't need uniform. He doesn't need uniform.
No, he'll ask my 2 cents, but other than that, it's just like, it's his shop, whatever. But everyone, I don't mind helping. I really don't.
No, you really don't. Again, I have not seen a day where Rodger's blown up or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure there's customers that have walked in and like that too. They walk in and they probably see Rodger sitting down and then he stands up. So you can't do it today? No? Okay, cool.
Bye.
Yeah. Which is a different story for the boss because dudes got in. Yeah, people got in his face before I seen it.
He called me one time. I was like, "Hey, get this guy out of here." I was like, "I'm not gonna pick this." He's like, "Well, you're big. Go pick him up." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, my job's on the line here. I mean, obviously, you can get rid of me, but what if this thing turns? What's it called?
It's a whole scandal.
Scandal, and then what if the legals get here? Then it's over for me. So I'm good. I just kept yelling back at the guy. I was like, hey,
just leave. Just leave.
Literally, just leave. And I kept getting in his face. Mind you, I was towering over him.
Yeah.
But he was just like, no, No, he was really stubborn. It was funny
for sure.
as hell.
I bet. That too, right? Customers.
Yes.
And we always joke around with Rodger. He's going to wear that white shirt one day. And Rodger's answer is always like, no, I don't want it. Man, I hate talking to customers. And it's like, it's not that bad, Rodger.
It's not
but then you hear stories like this and you're like, I understand. I get it.
Because well, it's funny, like, mind you, when I did towing, you dealt with the customer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because there's people stranded. But what's funny, there's two different views to it. This is how I saw it. So when someone's stranded on the road, when someone shows up to help, you're a hero.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
People loved you.
I never even thought about it that way.
So that's what I noticed when there was people that were rude. I literally left them. Like, oh, you didn't want my help.
All right, I'm out of here.
And they would get so mad. Oh, no, don't leave. I'm like, well, no, you're being incapable to work with. I'm not. I literally, they would tell me, the dispatcher would be like, dude, just drive away.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Just drive away.
Yeah,
he's incompetent. It's like, okay. Yeah. They're incompetent. I mean, and then I was like, okay. So I literally drove off. 30 minutes later, that same call comes in. Hey, they want the help. They changed their. So they paid us anyways for me even showing up.
Yeah.
And then I went back again. They're gonna pay us
and
again.
Now,
so now his attitude is way different.
I never even thought about it that way. Because like you said, I've never done that. So I've always been in a shop, which is always like, it's my money. I decide. Da, da, da.
Exactly.
Dang, that's right. They do see you as it.
So you're the hero. So every I swear, like every call that you would show up, you were automatically the lifesaver. Like, oh, thank you for showing up. You know, this is my problem. Like, oh yeah, and then we put your spare on, and dude, and they're so you get tips. You would get tips, food, like whatever they had in their hands.
I got a Gatorade.
Yeah, like here's my firstborn child. Like, I'm like, whoa.
Take him. Here's the social claimant on the tax. It's like, it'll help you out. Don't worry.
Yeah, that job, I'm gonna lie, was a gravest job. But it was fun. It was really fun, and you got a lot of experience of knowing how to tow different stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, which is also a skill on its own, because I've seen people just rip some axles out, just body parts. It's all plastic, guys. Don't hook onto a bumper.
Don't J-hook anything, bro.
Don't do it.
Grab the chassis, please.
But yeah, the whole thing, going back to the point that I was trying to make, the customers, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you could get a really good one, right? You explain to them, oh, hey, like, this is wrong. You need this X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh, dang, that's bad. All right, well, go ahead. And then that too, you're like, it's going to take like the whole day. And they're like, oh, all right, cool. I'll get an Uber. Someone's already coming. The best ones. And unfortunately, we always get, majority of the time, you get the other side, right? Why is it going to take so long? Or why is it that expensive? And it's like, what do you want?
It's unfortunate because I feel like they're in the wrong industry if that's the case. Because you got to remember, you got to spend money to make money, unfortunately. And they're driving these vehicles millions of miles. And again,
I don't know if we work on semi trucks. We're on big rigs, so it's literally their job to be in that truck.
And safely, mind you, highway DOT safety.
Oh, dude,
is key.
When I'm going home, there's always someone stopped getting checked. And that's just how it is. Yeah,
good in the area you are, because over here
well, that's what I'm saying. Right here on the bridge, on that, always someone. And it's funny because if DOT, they're the highway patrol, and they're the highway patrol because they're in like one of those Chevy
they're in a normal F-150 with the camper on it, and they're wearing
a creeper.
Green,
But the first time I seen it, I was like, why is that cop walking with the creeper? And I see him go under, and I'm like, oh, this guy's getting ticketed.
I call them the DOT police.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. It's funny, but like you're saying, they're in the wrong industry.
But
right?
Why are they mad?
Yeah,
that's what gets me.
We're helping them out.
We're trying to help you. Like, I get it. Like there's some. I'm not to talk trash on some shops, but there's some shops that do some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like, hey, you need this, but in all reality, it was just a fuse.
Yeah.
And they charge them for something that costs over like $2,000-$3,000.
Yeah.
It was a 15-cent fuse.
Exactly.
And it's sad that they do that, and they make the rep bad for all the other shops.
For everybody, right?
And in our shop, honestly, it's like the most honest shop there is to me that I've ever worked for, because I'm like, dude, we're straight to the point. Trust me, we don't want your work. Like, I can literally be like, dude, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I was just trying to help you. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, the door's right there.
Yeah.
But you get those guys who are like, no. I mean, it's because they're already traumatized. I think that's what it is. So it sucks. You get those elbowed customers that are very, theatricals, they call them.
Yeah. But it's true what you're saying. Like, unfortunately, in this industry, there is a lot of bad mechanics, and which is why I kind of want to do this longer podcast. Someone asked a question on the little Instagram videos I would do, and they're like, "How can you tell different? Like, how do you know you're getting ripped off or not?" And I'm like, "I can't do this in a minute. Like, I can't do this in a minute. I can't." And even now, we would need a week to explain it, right? Because it's hard because sometimes you can be like, "Oh, this component is bad," but like you said, instead of like, let's say, I don't know. Like a brake caliper, they're gonna charge you the whole brake caliper, and it was just like, oh no, like it was just the brake pads or something.
The worst part about that too, like I said, everyone starts. Okay, here's a diagnostic fee. We're gonna look into it. So mind you, there's a fee right there.
Yeah, automatic.
And then mind you, you go in, you find one thing, and you literally open up a hornet's nest.
Yeah,
parts,
it's just
like you start seeing bad, like let's say a brake system, like bad brake rotors, pads, next thing you know, wheel seals, and it all started on one side. If you think about it, you start there, and next thing you know, you're like, dude, I just found this, dude, and then that's why the customers get mad. They're like, dude, I just came in for one thing, and it's like, well, I'm sorry, dude, I go in here, crap's falling apart. Like,
dude,
what do you want me to do, man? And they expect you to just be like, oh, just let it go. And I'm like,
I can't have that in my hands.
And I was like, that's what lawyers are for, right? But it's like, no, dude, like, let's not kill nobody on this freeway, please. Like, there's families out there.
Yeah, because it's not even just like, oh, I can't let you go because it's on my hands. But it goes deeper than that. It's like it's on my hands to keep somebody else, to keep somebody else safe, right? Because I mean, a lot of people
that's manslaughter, dude. Like, you literally go to prison for that, dude. And all we did was try to change your fucking brakes. Because that too. If people are already bad with. They're just cutting semi trucks off. Yeah.
So imagine a brand new truck that can barely stop already, just fresh off the lot, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to stop already with all that weight. And you're gonna try and stop even better than a brand new truck with your janky ass brakes. It's not gonna happen, dude. It's not gonna happen.
But yeah, like I said, you get those customers, and it's just like it all comes down to legalities, legals and it's your life. Like I said, it's someone's life out there, and it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's scary to think, because in that too, like you said, like if you're not paying attention, you miss something. And let me tell you, I've been on that end a good amount of times, and it is scary. And it's not even like when it comes up to me, I don't get mad like, oh, well, fuck the boss, he's just yelling at me. No, you do get kind of hurt. You're like, oh, dude, I'm an idiot. Like, some shit have caught that. Yeah, some shit could have really happened.
Yes.
And the boss, the one time he told me, he was like, it's lives out there, and I was like, dude, I know, man. Like, I don't mean to be like a whole like I know, but no, I did know. Like, you feel that way. You feel bad because you did a bad job. You did a bad, plain and simple. You did a bad job. Yes. Yeah, you did a bad job. And then second, you start thinking about it more, and you're just like, yeah, dude, he could have stopped, or he could have not stopped because of me, or something could have fallen off, and there goes his steering, and guess who he's going into? Somebody's family, like a minivan on vacation. So, just take your job serious. And on the customer side, we're not. Yeah. If you're here, we're not gonna lie to you. Just like you said, to get your money. We don't. Even want your work.
And we tell people, like, we don't want your money.
Yeah,
like,
we don't.
But we're just trying to help you because you're driving this 80,000-pound vehicle on our highways that our families drive on.
Yeah.
And you can take anybody's life out. And it's scary to think about.
And then even if you don't take somebody out, you're not killing anybody. Highway patrol's getting you, and then guess who you're coming back to? You're coming back to us and saying, "Why I got this? I can't drive my truck." And it's like, well, we tried to tell you.
We tried to
tell you.
Yeah, and then they pay 3 times the amount, especially when they get caught at scales. That's the beauty of scales for these guys. They can't stand them because they get caught.
Yeah, they're for everything.
We love them because they're always getting caught for work. Yeah, but it's just and it sucks because you can go into a scale and not get popped at all, but as long as you do your annual, or your 30-day inspections, where it just goes into a shop, the guys just flashlighted through it to see anything major, then you're good to go, dude. Like, it literally it takes one guy to catch a bad brake. Like, boom, hey, fix that $80 brake, you're good to go. But no, there's some guys that just prolong it.
And that's the worst, right? Because like you said, it could just literally be the brake shoes, not the brake drums. And then you drive it to there's no brake material. Well, guess what? You need a drum and the shoes
brake,
now,
and you toasted and you got it so high you melted the wheel seal off. Like, dude, like this all could have been prevented. Just go get checked out. You know, literally. But they get mad because they feel, and that's one thing someone told me. They're like, customers always get mad. For some reason, they always get mad at the mechanics. Like, why is it broken? I'm like, what do you mean why?
I found it like that.
Like, it feels like they assume and they think that we did it on purpose. And it's like, dude, I could literally grab you from your ear and show you how.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, you came in like this.
Oh, the funniest is when I do alignments. Rodger does everything.
Yeah.
When we do alignments, we check it and we check their tires. And if their tires are bad, we tell them because it's still gonna pull or it's gonna shake or whatever. But I like when they're like, I just got the tires. Your DOT numbers. Say 1995, man.
Yeah, they say 1995, bro, and we're in the year 2023.
We're in 2023. I don't know how it
and it's funny because you'll see that tire and they're not lying. It's brand new. It has the little freckles on them or whatever. And then you're like, this thing's been sitting on a shelf somewhere. Yeah, who knows where?
It's got a divot or something, right? Yeah.
Like, and they sell these tires for, oh yeah, but I got a good deal. I'm like, yeah, no, duh, dude, they're so expired. Like DOTs don't even recommend having 2-year-old tires on DOT. Like you're tripping.
And see, I think that's where people get confused too. Because when I was at Firestone, so for a car, we wouldn't sell. You could still have something that was 5 years, but personally in our shops, you wouldn't sell anything 5 years or older.
Right.
And then we definitely wouldn't recommend if you had a tire that was 10 years or older. We were like, it's done. I don't care if the tread's at 10, 30 seconds. It's done. The rubber's shit. And I think that's where people kind of get confused too. They're like, oh, but I've had these tires for 5 years. It's like, yeah, dude, that's you know how many miles you put on them?
Well, not just miles. There's dry rot.
Yeah.
The car being parked there for a long time. Look at RVs. That's a big one on us. We see RVs. These guys put tires. It's sad because they buy this RV. It sits. Doesn't go nowhere. It just sits. But just from how many years of it sitting, the tire's already ruined. Yeah. And it literally still has its, its little freckles.
It still has the stickers on it.
Yeah, everything.
Because that too, it's rubber. At the end of the day, it's rubber.
If you don't have them protected, like people, you've seen those guys that put those shields on and stuff. But it's still rubber, and it's gonna lose its strength. So
especially if it's just
especially if it's just sitting in
the sun, dude.
No money out of the sun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, not all customers are bad, right? You get those cool ones.
You get very cool ones. Yeah. And you get my favorite ones. And it's not even about being cool. I'm saying the understanding ones.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Because it's like, look, hey, we found this. This is our timeline. If it works with you, let's do it. And you get those like, you know what? Take your time, do it right. Those are those heartwarming.
Oh, those those words, just the butterflies and stuff.
It's just like those so heartwarming because like, you know what? We're gonna do a very good job now because you're not rushing me.
You're not that we weren't gonna do a good job, but guess what? We're gonna add a little extra grease.
More grease. You know what? I'm just gonna throw in some brake cleaner on some certain areas that look a little dirty. Yeah. But it's like those customers trust you'll get treated right. Yeah. Like because. And it's not that we shouldn't. Obviously, we can't pick or choose our customers.
No, for sure.
A little, a little kindness goes a long way.
No, for sure. Sorry, because the same thing. If you're being rushed, then it's not that we're gonna do a bad job. But I'm not gonna brake clean this. Like I might not necessarily.
I might not have that extra time.
Because you're already hounding me that it should have been done an hour ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like. It's
just frustrating.
Yeah, it's just don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick, and that's not hard to do. But it seems like it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, because it's not their way.
Yeah, so,
exactly. But whatever, you do get those cool ones, and those are the ones we always look out for.
Yeah,
but you do got to take care of those mean ones. But at the end of the day, like. Businesses they see is green. So it's like whatever.
Bottom line
and all green. We need turnover. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
But just remember out there,
just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
It does work both ways. If you're not a dick, we're gonna get to like you said, we're gonna be a little more accommodating and stuff like that. Yeah. And then it's like if you are a dick, we just want you out of the shop. So we might let you cut in line because we're like, I don't want to deal with this person.
Yeah, I don't want to
get him in, get him out.
There's
Let's
rules,
go.
Get in line, and there's rules.
Exactly.
And kindness goes a long way.
Yeah, but it's just it's funny because you guys would think like, oh yeah, that's where all the funny stories come from, right? From the customers. But the funniest stories come from within the shop. And I mean, one of my recent ones is, so we have our own fleet of trucks, and they go out and service trucks. You know, they do the tires and stuff. And so here I am, you know, I'm cutting wood. I'm chopping that wood, right? And so I don't even know how fucking tall. I'm fucking 5'6", 5'7", all right? On a good day, I'm 5'8", depending on when you ask. Yeah. Here I am taking this big ass piece of fucking plywood. It's all flimsy, and the homie freaking Pedro's just not doing anything, right? And I'm there, and it starts shaking, and I'm just, what? We're gonna go down, Pedro, and he just turns around and laughs at me, right? Because it's like, but it was funny and it's comical, and it always brings us back to that story that you have of the boss of the PRYBAR one, because it's just so funny. So
you want me to tell that story?
Yes, tell that story.
Okay,
dude,
so this goes way back. I was on the alignment rack that day for some reason. And because a guy called out. He was out, so I was covering the rack. Mind you, we clocked in early. We clocked in at 6:30, and the boss had me like open up the doors and start pulling trucks in.
Hurry up.
I was like, hurry up. And one of my other good friends, he was under a truck doing spring pins and bushings. But at the same time, he had to lower the truck, but he was doing it on the ground. Normally, we do it on the rack. It's safer, whatever. But Gene was like, well, there's two birds with one stone. So he took the U-bolts off, and I'm pulling up a truck, and I pull up just in front of the bay right there. and all I see is my boss running down the shop. Like, I'm like, what the heck? And I'm just, so mind you, I'm sitting in the truck watching my boss running. And I'm like, I never see this guy run. What happened, right? So I'm waiting. I rolled down the window. I started listening. And my friend, somehow, the axle rolled out under him. And his hand was in between the spring and the hanger. So it got stuck. And he's just screaming like, ah. Yeah. But thankfully, he didn't get hurt. But he was screaming like, ah. And then, like, he's... So that's when he screamed and he yelled at Gene, because Gene was the only person nearby. Everyone was still getting dressed out. There was only 3 of us out here right now. So he's running, and then he yells at me because he saw me at the bay, and he came running to the. He grabs the big PRYBAR. He's all, Rodger, get the big PRYBAR, Rodger. And I'm like, what?
I'm in the truck.
Mind you, my friend's under there screaming, trying to get his hand out of the...
Someone help me.
So he thankfully was able to crawl himself under and undo the jack by hand to drop it. And I still see my boss running with this big ass
PRYBAR. Don't worry, I got it.
And he's all screaming like, Rodger, get the big PRYBAR. I'll never forget that day. And I was like, dude, it was... And my friend thankfully pulls himself out, and so, like, he's just rubbing his hand. He's like, oh, dude. And the boss is like, dude, is your hand broken? Can you move it? Like, dude, I didn't send you the urgent. Like, it was just the funniest day of my life, dude.
I saved myself. No thanks to you, man.
And that's literally my friend. He's like, well, no thanks to you. You took off running. He's like, because as he ran away, I guess my friend told him, like, hey, lower the jack.
Yeah, just lower the jack.
Just lower the jack. And no, he took off running, looking for Rodger. Get the big PRYBAR. It was one of the funniest things.
So I'm assuming he was in the first bay or in the second one? No,
he was literally... So before that rack was put in, the one I think you're on...
okay, yeah.
It was there. That truck was there.
I mean, it's a pretty big shop. He still had
to run 2 bays over to grab my big PRYBAR and run his ass back.
And he shows up, dude's already out of the truck. What the fuck, man?
To make it funnier, he was still in his freaking street clothes.
And he's got a fashion.
Yeah, he's got a fashion. So I'm like, that was not safe at all.
I could only imagine.
He was trying to save him, and I understand, but it was just the funniest reaction I've ever seen.
Oh my god, his I guess we could say normal human clothes is definitely not OSHA approved.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I could picture
you walk into a building like, sir, you need to go. Heck out.
So I could only imagine him running, and then with the big PRYBAR, like,
and screaming, Rodger, get the big PRYBAR. It was just the fear in his voice. I knew it was bad. I was like, whoa,
someone's dying.
But mind you, I was in the truck still with my head out the window.
Rodger didn't move. Like,
I didn't. What? I'm like, all I remember doing was looking, and after I see him pull himself out, I set the brakes and I ran out to see if everything was cool.
Like, you all right? He's like,
yeah, I'm fine, dude. And he's like, man, whatever, just complaining. And it was just, there's so many stories like that.
I bet, man. 9 years, you see a lot of stuff.
I've seen a lot, dude. I've seen a lot.
it's not even to discourage. Well, sometimes it is to discourage people because at that moment it's like, yo, man, this could have gone really bad, and you decided to book it the other way. But because a lot of the times when we're joking around in the shop, it's because one of us fucked up, right? Yeah. Like it's like I have a Post-it note. In fucking Pedro and Jesus, I have a Post-it note that says, "Hey, don't forget to tighten the cross tube." And I'm just like, "You guys are dicks." And then the other one says, "Cross tube master mechanic." And so I'm like, you know what? And I was like, I'll just leave them there. Like it's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games. Like you can't take it personal, but it was your mess up, and you just get your name.
You own up to
it. I get nicknames for everybody. All you guys, I have a nickname for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhat. But it all comes down to their first F up.
Yeah, exactly. it's kind of like a badge of honor, right?
Yeah,
like it's like
hey, you learn from it and you
exactly. You move on. It's that's what it is. And
that's awesome.
that's kind of what drew me to the shop too. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in school, I was just like, all right, whatever. And not that I was the best athlete, but I did play high school football. So that locker room environment, it's cool. You're just always with your friends,
it's the guys,
and you always you kind of have the same mindset, but you guys have the same likes and stuff. So it's like football, this and that, and then when you're in the shop, it's cars and things like that. Or
everything's relatable. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's just like any workplace. I'm sure everybody has that group.
Yeah,
and our group is just it's all dudes. But we all vent and we all talk about the randomest things. It doesn't matter what it is, but we all cope with it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And I had one guy that left. He got let go. He told me, he's like, man, dude, this is one of the funnest shops I ever worked at. He's like, I love working here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. He's like, I just want to tell you, like, this job is fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
And like, I had other guys too, like, man, dude, he's like, man, I just love that you guys all hang out. Like, and it's always not hang out, it's break time.
Yeah,
break time
we're chilling.
And they come in, they listen to our conversation, and they laugh. Because like, dude, you guys talk about the funniest and randomest things.
Yeah.
And it's just cool. It's just so much fun.
Because that too, it's like you said, it's kind of like a place to vent too, right?
Yeah.
Because we all obviously, we all come from different backgrounds and different like tax brackets or whatever, but none of that really matters when we're here, right?
No,
it's all about
we're all working for the same team.
We're all working, and it's funny too because like nothing brings mechanics together like someone walking off that tool truck and getting to something new and shiny.
What's going on over there?
every time it's like, oh, did you get anything? Nah, I just paid the bill. And you're like, all right, well, fuck off. I don't want to talk to you. But when you see that one person come out with a box, what'd you get? And then like you hear the price. And you kind of have to act like, oh, that was a good price, dude. That was a good price. You turn around and you're like,
oh, that's gonna be on there for a couple years.
It's just one. You just got one.
One wrench. Wow,
yeah, one wrench, one ratchet. That too.
You know what? What's funny? I'm gonna tell you just one quick thing. This older man that worked. The one thing he said, he's on tools. How does he say it? I'm trying to remember now. Tools don't make the mechanic; they just make the job easier.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Who gives a crap about the price?"
Yeah.
Because you got to remember.
That was a good point. I was going to continue. Drop it.
Yeah.
Drop this knowledge.
He said, "I don't care." He's like, "If you need it, you will buy it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even ask the price."
No.
He's like, "That's how you know you need it
desperately."
So he's like, because I would laugh because he would roll in the truck, dude. He'd be like, he would grab stuff, just set it in front of the guy, and be like, "I need this."
Yeah.
The guy didn't even give him a price. He was just like, "No, I need it." He's like, "I don't care. I want it."
Ballsy.
But he would pay, and a lot of times it was crazy. He would pay cash. Dude. I don't know how he had this money, but he owned another shop, so he had money.
Yeah,
he would buy stuff that he needed. No questions.
Oh, dude, I got to think about it 3-4 times. Yeah, I recently just bought that 3/4 ratchet.
Oh yeah,
today actually.
Barely.
From Cornwall. Yeah, exactly, dude. Barely. Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
and that's so.
No, and it's crazy. Yeah. It comes out. And that's what I try to tell you guys. I try to tell all the mechanics, like, look. And that's another thing. Like, you don't have to have the shiniest bell. You don't have to have the highest end tool.
Yeah.
But buy the tool.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who makes it. But buy the tool, dude, because it's your job. It makes your life easy. Nobody else's.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you borrow from somebody, and then you made your life easy by borrowing somebody else's tool. But that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool at all.
Yeah.
But if you can buy it, don't ask. Just buy it.
Just take it.
Yeah.
So, but like I was saying, I was gonna ask you too your opinion on the brand of tool, right? Yeah. And obviously, you said it doesn't necessarily matter, right?
And you know what, dude? I started here with I think I dropped like $500 on Harbor Freight when I first started.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate of Harbor Freight. All my sockets are from Harbor Freight.
Nowadays, it's even better. When I first started, it was trash. But I got that trash working, dude.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I got stuff done with it. And mind you, I didn't lose an arm and a leg over it.
You're still all 10 fingers, all 10 toes.
At the time, you know, you're only making so much money.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I tell these guys, you guys are funny because I was like, you guys crack me up.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I was like, you're getting paid this much. Mind you, I was getting paid this much, and I was dropping money on Snap-on, doing payments.
Right.
But I was good about it because I was paying my bills fast. Like that's one thing, you got to pay those things quick.
Yeah.
Don't let it build.
Sit there. Yeah.
So these, you know, a lot of guys just go guns blazing, behind $10,000-$20,000 in debt. And it's like, okay, but are you gonna dump money into it though?
Right.
You need to throw that.
Yeah.
Don't do that $15 a week thing. Like that's
it's
unfortunate, but it's not gonna do a thing to it, bro. That interest is ridiculous.
So, anyways, Rodger's taking personal shots over here. Hey, man. No, but no, you're right, because like you're saying, it is an investment. You need it. You do need it. You need it. And like you said, like that too, it's a weird balance, because on the tool trucks you have it's called the personal account, and so you can make payments. It doesn't go on your credit unless you you drop
truck credit.
Yeah, unless you drop like a grand or something, right? Yeah. Then they're like, and so then you're like, well, Harbor Freight's cheaper, but do you really want to drop the like a $50 or like $100 there and then? So it's like you got to kind of play with it. It's like you said.
Yeah, if you can honestly, I think the way I did it, if you want to hear it, I pulled out my own credit card.
Right.
Don't get a credit card from the store, but get your own bank credit card.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And just use that. Yeah. And pay that. And the interest is twice, and it's super cheap. And it's like being on a tool truck. It's the same thing. Yeah, just go buy it, outsource it from Amazon to Home Depot.
Yeah.
To, like, you can buy all these tools all sorts of places, dude. Like, you don't have to get the high end guys.
No.
But not bashing on them, but they make some cool. The high end guys make stuff where you need it, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get this one. And then let's be honest, there's nothing like grabbing a nice just Snap-on ratchet. You feel that metal. It's probably the same thing. It's probably made from the same Chinese company or whatever. Yeah. But it just feels different. It just feels right. It's nice.
I think it's their name, and like I said, their warranty plan. Some of their warranty plans is phenomenal. You can't beat that.
No,
because I've done my fair share of breaking of their tools, and they're pretty surprised that I'm like, hey, it happened.
And it helps too. I know a lot of people deteriorate from the truck guys, because some other truck guys, like I came from the shop, our truck guy was bad. It was like, hey, do you have this? No, I'll get it in 2 months.
We have a vendor like that, but not to bash, but it's funny because they're all starting somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But it sucks because when you need it, need
like,
it.
Come on. But our Snap-on guy is pretty good. He's on it, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty loaded. And mind you, he had a smaller truck prior, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't see the small truck at all.
He had a smaller truck, and he was even loaded then.
Dang.
But now he has above and beyond. Now.
Oh my god, that thing's
So
it fits all of us, and we're not small.
And we're not small.
Like
because I think a total of 12 of us. I think.
Yeah.
At one point, we all stand in a single file line. We'll sit in there. But of course, our bosses get pissed off. Like, why the hell are you in a truck?
I always like our truck guys' response though. Oh, they're just in here buying beautiful tools to invest in themselves to make you more money. And then he's just like,
he's like, cut the crap.
Cut the crap.
I know right away. Our boss is like, just cut the crap. Get these fools out of here.
Yeah, but it is a good, which is partially true, right? Like you're saying, if you want to start doing bigger jobs, you're gonna need bigger tools. You're gonna need more tools. You're not gonna be able to do it with just a basic ratchet set, right?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
sockets.
There's a tool for everything.
There really is.
But like I said, I take that guy's wisdom very much. Tools don't make the mechanic.
No,
they make the job easier. That's
exactly.
Because you can, that's the whole beauty, like a wrench. Of course, you have all your sizes.
Yeah.
But you can literally grab a crescent wrench and do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, but you can still do the job, right?
Yeah,
it's a cheaper tool, blah, blah, blah. So that's why ever since he told me, I'm like, holy crap. Like,
you're right.
When you get in a scenario where you're like, dude, I don't have this tool, but hey, I have this other tool.
You got to get creative.
You'll get creative and you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But yes, if there's every tool for the right job. So,
which is,
just remember that.
And that's what it is. It's all honestly being creative too, because you can have the right tool too, and if you don't know how to use it, you're still in the same position, and you're just like, oh, what? So it's funny, but I mean, I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Okay,
this was really fun. I think we got over all the topics, right? We talked about the shop. We talked about how you got in, and I think
the whole college thing.
Dude. I think your story. I think it's funny. Like I said, when you first time I heard you talk about that, I was like, I had a friend, and that's what I was like.
It's crazy.
I gotta know more about this guy.
And it's funny, and that's why everyone makes fun of me. They're like, dude, you went to school to help or heal the human body, but instead you're healing trucks. Yeah. You're becoming a mechanic doctor instead of a physical doctor. But it is crazy.
One last question though, and I already know the answer because I spend more time with Rodger than I do with my girlfriend. So
we all do. Don't we all?
We're all here fucking 12 hours. Anyways, your daughter, is she gonna wrench or not?
I sure hope not. I want to keep her girly. I respect a girly girl.
I get that,
but there is gonna.
But she's not gonna be helpless, dude.
No,
right?
I want her at least to know how to change her spare. If that's the case. I'm gonna teach her all the basic things in life. But if I can prevent her from being a wrench head, a gearhead, then I can.
Yeah.
But if she falls in love with it, hey,
that's be what it is, right?
So be it. But yeah, if I could keep her girly girl, then I would love her.
But that's funny.
I'm gonna love her no matter what.
Yeah, obviously. That's nice. But I get it too. You're going to be like, I know what kind of mechanic I am. If she grows up to be a mechanic like me, we're going to,
we might bash heads or we might actually fly away.
Yeah, right? So something's going to happen. Oh, one more thing. Your favorite tool in your toolbox right now.
My favorite tool.
And it doesn't even have to be like, because I use it for this or whatever. It's just like, what's your favorite tool? Yeah. Not even one that you use every day, your actual favorite tool where you're just like, when I bought it, I was like, this is badass, man. You bought it off of impulse, nothing because you're like, that last time I needed this tool because I had it. No, just a tool you were like
I think it was that Triton D10 scanner.
Oh, hey, man.
That thing was
pretty nice.
It's so nice.
That thing's nice.
I've gone to use it. I used it recently, actually. I did the rear brakes on my Honda Civic.
Hell yeah. Dude. It made it a lot easier, huh?
Oh, dude, I didn't have to do that whole take the actuator off. I literally hit service mode.
And you hear the motor?
And I'm like, damn, that's what this thing can do, bro.
All day you're just...
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, later on with other jobs, I'm like, dude, this thing is really nice.
Yeah.
So that was one pretty big investment I did.
That is a nice tool,
and it's a fun.
That's fucking nice. It'll do everything.
Literally almost everything.
And if you want to rent it from Rodger, it's $80 a day.
$80. If you guys want to rent it, $80.
And if you want him to do the work and do the diagnostic,
that might cost more. But I don't mind scanning. I don't mind giving you the info, and you go on your own.
Just go better crazy for you, right?
But this thing is bitchy.
Yeah, it's a nice tool, but
very nice.
Again, Rodger, appreciate it. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed being here.
No, I appreciate that you actually considered me.
Yeah, man, this is because I was like, I can't get Pedro. What's Pedro gonna talk about?
He might talk about his childhood. Who knows?
Fuck Pedro.
But yes, guys, I'm gonna work on that Honda. I know I am.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like every guy needs financial. So remember that. Don't forget about that.
Which, by the way, if you want to donate or support our brand, head over to theheightsgarage.com and maybe we'll kick a couple bucks to Rodger, depending on how this episode does. Then we'll, I guess we'll give him 10% or something. But thanks for your time, and we'll check in next time. I don't know.
Hey, maybe if this thing takes off, dude, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you another 30 minutes.
All right, Rodger. Thank you.
Peace out, dude.